We know God's favor does not necessarily result in a charmed life, right? It does not guarantee wealth. It doesn't guarantee good health. It doesn't guarantee sweet providence your whole life. Providence's smiling face, if you will. It does not mean that we will be successful in anything that we do because, if you're a receiver of grace, then God is with you in everything, and everything that you put your hand to is going to succeed. Start a business, become a millionaire, do this or that. There's no guarantee of that. That's not what grace does. Job received God's grace. Job is a receiver of God's grace, and he suffered tremendous tragedy. Joseph was favored by God, and he went through years of suffering. Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord, and he probably did not have the greatest life. And if you look at it, and he witnessed maybe the greatest single cataclysmic event and the most death that has ever happened all at one time in the entire history of the world. Each of the apostles were receivers of God's grace, and each died a martyr's death. It doesn't protect us from a horrible death. It doesn't protect us from oppression, persecution, martyrdom, the witnessing of mass death, being lied about, thrown in prison, having your family die around you, natural disasters, health affliction. None of it. Suffering and difficulty are not signs that we are out of favor with God. Trials are not a sign that God is absent from our lives. Rather, grace means holiness will still rule in us through all of those normal struggles of everyday life. It still will produce its spiritual fruit no matter what's happening. We can be materially poor yet spiritually prosperous. We're not promised to have a life without hardship and adversity, but by God's grace, hardship and adversity will not hinder us from being made like Jesus. If you ever wonder who it is that is the most heavily graced by God, it is those who are persevering and even continuing to grow in Christ-likeness while the world around them crumbles.